the Bridge the Gap DFS YouTube page. Wanted to walk you guys through a lineup build just to give you a look into what I would do and what I did do. So this is week 8 of the NFL. We're in Fantasy Cruncher. I'm looking back at one of the lineups that I did. So I previously stated that 99% of my action is on DraftKings, and that's true. I do a contest that one of my friends' dads started last year, I think, maybe 2 years ago. Just a little $10 single entry contest with 11 other people. So I just, got back to my roots of DFS, where when I first started playing DFS, I would build my lineups by hand. So I don't play a ton of volume on FanDuel, but I did that contest and I was doing okay at it. Top 3 people get paid out, and I was finishing in the top 3 about 2 out of 3 weeks. And so I decided the last 3 weeks to just throw my same lineup into a single entry type contest. And so I want to walk you through a build that I did from this last week. So I'm going to just go ahead and minimize myself as best I can. So this is what I would do if I were building a single entry lineup. And this is applicable across all the sites. You can do this on Yahoo, you can do this on DraftKings, you can do this on FanDuel, you can do this on Fantasy Draft. And the first thing that I wanted to look at, so I uploaded my projections, and these are the projections that I got from Daily Roto. I actually prefer Daily Roto's projections for football and basketball. So Fantasy Labs is awesome. And I recommend their site as well, but my site of preference for these two sports is Daily Roto. So uploaded my projections, and the first thing that I want to sort is the value column. So who is going to be a top value recommended off of salary points divided by salary, and that's how you get the value. So right away, I just went ahead and locked in Gurley, Connor, Mixon. So we're starting to build our team. The players that we've locked, we've put over here, so we can see what our team is starting to build out and look like. The next thing I did is I like to do game stacks, and I wanted to stack a game that was going to give me some cheap options, because FanDuel is only half point PPR. And what that's going to do is allow us to put more of an emphasis on touchdowns and less on receptions. So my attitude was, well, let me just jam in some guys who are going to be cheap. That way I can afford the 3 stud running backs that I went with. So first guy I locked in was Tyler Boyd, because I want to have a quarterback plus 4 players in this game. And so I went with Jameis at quarterback. Here's my first guy, Mixon, who's one of the 3 stud running backs that I locked in, Boyd. And so I was looking for 2 more guys. Well, I want to save money at tight end. So I know Jameis likes Cameron Brate, and Brate's salary is only $4,700. So that was my tight end option. And then I was looking at, the receiver options. And we have Jackson at $6,400. AJ Green, of course, $8,800, but I've already decided to spend my money on the running backs. And so I really wanted to think outside of the box. And so I said, you know what, let's go cheap again. So Adam Humphries, come on down. So I selected Adam Humphries. You go back, take a look at our team. So give us a report. I think it'll show us. Nope. So what we'll do is, I thought it would show me like how much salary I've used. Anyway, okay, so we need a defense. So we'll select all and go back to our defenses and take a look. And I'm trying to remember which defense I went with. Bear with me just a second. Oh, I think I went with the Browns, because the Browns were cheap. And yeah, they're playing the Steelers that are kind of a high-powered offense, but they're prone to mistakes. Big Ben will take sacks. Big Ben will get throw some interceptions. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure I went with the Browns. Yeah, because they were the cheapest. So we'll lock in the Browns. And so at this point, what you can do when you have most of the people in your lineup locked in is run a, let's see, something's not adding up correctly. So Jameis, running back, flex, wide receiver, tight end, defense. So this is the part that I wanted to talk to you guys about, because this is where I got back to a mistake that I made, and it cost me $700. Well, more than that, over $700. So FanDuel's salary is $60,000. So we're $6,000 under, and we need a wide receiver. So now I've got my team dialed in, and what we want to do is we want to go look at sort by salary. And you can use this filter tab, because one of the things it'll do is if you filter down to 6,000, it will take out all of the players above 6,000. So now we have our top guys here. And now what I would do is I would sort by value. And they recommended playing Taylor Gabriel. That was their best point per dollar recommendation. And that's who I went with, trying to stick with the numbers. And the guy that I thought about playing numerous times was Marvin Jones. And so let's take a look and see how I did. So this is a $33 buy-in with only 250 people. I love contests like this because you don't have to have the best possible lineup to do really well. 7,000 in prizes. I think first was $1,000, $1,200 actually. So here I am in 10th place at a 154.54. Jameis got pulled, so he could have scored more points. But overall, I nailed the running backs. Mixon, Connor, and Gurley all did really well. I want to try to look and see. So we looked at the way that it was supposed to work out, the actual value. So all three were in the top 10 in terms of value, and all three were in the top 4 in terms of points. So we nailed the running backs. Humphreys, fine, 11 points at pretty much minimum salary, 7 catches, 76 yards. Brait didn't do anything. That's fine. He was cheap. If he would have scored a touchdown, 4%, less than 1%, 0.4% ownership. I love that. We know about Boyd. Boyd went off. Taylor Gabriel let me down. So Taylor Gabriel scored a 7.2. And we'll take a look and see what Marvin Jones scored. A 27.2. So there is my $700 mistake. DFS is definitely art and science, and you should trust your gut on a handful of things. I liked Marvin Jones because I'm not afraid of the Seattle secondary. I love attacking them whenever I get the opportunity. Marvin Jones had a couple quiet weeks, and so I anticipated his ownership would be lower, and it was 2%. Taylor Gabriel, they liked because Allen Robinson was out. The Bears had some other injuries. And he has had some big games. I just, don't feel as confident about Trubisky's ability to get the ball to his wide receivers versus Marvin Jones. And then look at the ownership here. 10% less on Jones. And this is how you win tournaments, is by being on a guy like this and he bangs a big day. So we have a 20-point difference between the two. And that would have been my gut call. That would have taken me up from a 154.54 to a 174.54. And that would have been the difference of winning $100 versus taking second place and winning $800. So hope this helps you guys. DFS is fun. It is beatable when you're operating in a professional manner. And I don't want to kick myself because I still took a profit, and you never go broke taking a profit. But just a lesson learned of, in a scenario like this, let the numbers guide you to the best that it can. but in a position where in your gut you just got a really good feeling about somebody. You got to trust that, because that was gut wrenching to see Marvin Jones score 2 touchdowns, knowing I agonized for about an hour and then ultimately decided to trust the numbers and not my gut here. So won't always play out like that. Sometimes your gut will be right, sometimes it'll be wrong, sometimes the numbers will be right, sometimes the numbers will be wrong. But at the end of the day, this lineup I put together in about an hour, and we finished just outside of the top 10 for 3x our entry. So great opportunity here for you guys to get a look at proper tournament selection, proper lineup building, how to go about doing it, and just move forward. It's the simpler strategy always works out the best. So if you're crunching a bunch of stuff and it's really, really complicated, and if you try to explain it to somebody and they'd be confused by it, you're probably not using the most efficient strategy. So hopefully, walking through of how I like to build lineups, again, I like to look at stud running backs as my foundation, and then we went with a cheap game stack, getting all of the Buccaneers and lower end targets, and that paid off with Boyd and Humphreys. Brait didn't do anything, but it didn't kill us. I had the Browns defense. I just want to confirm that I did. Got a cheap defense with some sack potential, maybe a turnover. So not that great, but that's what you get when you're going to be on the Browns on the road. I took a gamble, but I'm always down to save salary at tight end or defense. I either want the best one or I want a cheap one. But yeah, it was a solid day. Pretty easy when you get almost 100 points out of your running backs in flex. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, if you have any video suggestions, love to help you out. Send me an email. Hit me up on Twitter. Talk to you guys soon.